Hello and welcome back to another We Ourselves video. This episode should be a short one because I want to talk about a recent Hollywood Reporter article about the firing of the Daredevil Reborn writing staff and what that could possibly mean for the Marvel live-action shows going forward. Now, I know the article came out a few weeks ago, but I think it's still relevant because we are in the midst of the Loki Season 2 series. And I think some of the things mentioned in the article kind of affect the Loki series also. So into the video. The article begins by talking about the Daredevil show and how Kevin Feige and other executives had a moment to sit down and review the first 4 or so episodes, which were being completed, and they decided that the show was not what they wanted. According to the article, Daredevil doesn't even put on his iconic uniform until the 4th episode. Until then, the show is basically a legal drama. So the Marvel executives quietly fired the showrunner and the writing team and brought in new people to revamp the show before going any further. At that point, the article goes on to talk about the turmoil behind the scenes with other shows like She-Hulk, and in particular, Secret Invasion. Marvel's approach to its live-action TV shows is different from the other TV studios. Instead of letting showrunners have true control of the shows, like it is in regular TV series and dramas, Marvel has used a movie studio approach to the process. And that meant charging forward into the production phase and fixing any and all problems in post. Well, apparently, they finally acknowledged that hasn't worked out well, and they're going to go with the more traditional television approach. Showrunners will have more creative control on their shows, and the studio wants multi-season shows instead of limited series. All that being said, the thing that I really wanted to focus on was the revelation of pre-production turf wars and fighting going on with the Secret Invasion show. It's almost like a case of, I told you so. When I did my Secret Invasion reviews, one of the things that I complained about was the storylines and how things did not connect. Characters had contrasting and conflicting motivations, as well as dialogue that contradicted other dialogue at other points in the show. Also, I felt like there were 2 different characterizations going on with Nick Fury and his Skrull wife. The first 4 episodes spent a lot of time tearing down the Nick Fury character. I even had a funny graphic in my videos called the Nick Fury Shade Parade. However, in the latter shows, the wife, who took part in tearing down Nick Fury by claiming he was always gone, she instead talks glowingly about their relationship and how she would watch him sit in a chair gazing out the window for hours at a time. I made a note that these 2 characterizations sounded different and did not match. Well, apparently that was the case because there were different factions during pre-production fighting for control of the show, which also probably meant they were fighting for control of the script writing and what the show would actually say. The article also mentions that the original showrunner for Secret Invasion was Kyle Bradstreet, who worked on the award-winning Mr. Robot series. Now, I watched Mr. Robot and I really liked that show, so I hate that Marvel decided to get rid of this experienced person and deprived us of his vision of what Secret Invasion could have been. I also noted the troubling quote that the new showrunners felt they had to quote-unquote crack the show. I understand that a showrunner and TV writers have to adapt material from one medium to another. In this case, comic book material has to be adapted to the television structure and format of a limited series. Having adapted some of my own written works to television scripts, I totally understand. But that comment eerily reminded me of the Kathleen Kennedy comment about the Star Wars sequel trilogy. In an interview, Kennedy stated that each of the sequel movies were a hard nut to crack. And of course, fans took her to task for that because the movies shouldn't be quote-unquote hard nuts to crack. Why? Because Star Wars has 40 to 50 years worth of established lore and canon. Writing the sequel trilogy should have been the easiest thing in the world, given all of the material that she had at her fingertips. Likewise, when it comes to Marvel, there's a huge volume of existing canon and works out there in the form of comic books, as well as animated series over the years that have all the information that these people need. Just like Kathleen Kennedy, when it came to Star Wars, These new Secret Invasion showrunners didn't have to crack or break the story, so to speak. All they had to do was just take from the existing mythos and give us a good product. But they didn't do that. No, I think in both cases, that being Star Wars and Secret Invasion, there's a simple reason why they feel the need to crack these movies or crack these shows. The reason they do this is because they're trying to figure out how to subvert the original material so that it fits their own new ideas, agendas, and sensibilities. I can't prove this, but I think the infighting on Secret Invasion was between those who wanted a more faithful adaptation of the comic book material and not destroy the Nick Fury character versus those who despised both ideas. Either way, we got a poor show as a result. The last bit that I want to mention about this article is the whole bit about Daredevil being a legal drama. When Marvel produced the She-Hulk show, the main character, Jen Walters, was an attorney. Even though I didn't like the show overall, I did feel the cases where she defended low-level wannabe superheroes were actually funny. I recall mentioning to a friend that they should have given Jen one of these cases at the beginning of every show. But instead of them making She-Hulk a true legal comedy or drama, the showrunners and writers bragged that they had no legal expertise and that they didn't bring in anybody. On the reverse side, when you come to Marvel's version of Daredevil, which needs to live up to what we got from Netflix, meaning that it needs to have some good action in it, for whatever reason, now they decide to give us a legal drama. It's as if somebody above this entire situation is deliberately looking at what needs to be done and doing the exact opposite at every turn. I don't know if Marvel's new approach to the upcoming TV shows will make a difference, because unless you pay attention to the source material, instead of constantly changing and twisting it to fit whatever new idea that you want to promote, having dedicated showrunners is not going to prevent the substandard and disjointed stories. But that's my take on the matter. Thank you for watching the video, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you the next time.